Today, I wanted to talk to you about outsourcing and what it involves when you're starting your hiring process and starting to outsource things. It can get really frustrating and you just want to give up or aren't sure what to do because they're not performing the way you want. You're worried that you're wasting your money. There's so much that goes into hiring people, and it takes a lot of time. But in this video, I'm going to teach you how to outsource and hire to your heart's desire. So the first step to outsourcing and hiring is making sure that you're getting out of the day-to-day task in the business. You have to remove yourself from the business and all of these everyday tasks that are repetitive, that you're doing over and over and over. Because if you could choose someone else to take over those for you, then it leaves you to be able to focus more on things like growth and sales. That's the whole point of removing yourself from the business so that you're able to see things from a different perspective. And I'll tell you, when I started outsourcing and hiring, there was a few things that I learned, and I've been doing this for a while. So the first thing that I learned is that these people rely on you and they expect you to give them some kind of system, either a checklist or some way for them to stay on track during the day, or be able to at least come back to you and say, hey, this is done. Because if there's no way for you to track them, then it's hard for you to be able to tell them that they're doing a good job or a bad job. And at the end of the day, they can't read your mind, so you're gonna get frustrated with them when they aren't doing these things for you. Second, what I learned about outsourcing and hiring was that this is a great way to start finding out your weaknesses and what you suck at. Because I started figuring out when I was giving these people tasks, they were like, what am I supposed to do? Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I don't know what you're doing. And even till this day, sometimes they're like, I have no idea what we're doing. But I assure them, look, there's an end motive for this. And I try to explain to them what happens at the end of this process that they're doing, why the steps that they're doing are important. Because I feel like they're able to then see why things rank or don't rank. For me, it's like YouTube videos where I get some of my help. Or social media. I have people that help me with my social media. Get out of the business so that you can focus on the bigger task, which is your growth and your sales, and not your day-to-day stuff that you're working on, like these tedious tasks. I know they seem like you might save money or time doing it, but it really doesn't work out that way. The next step in this whole process is to actually start figuring out what you need to outsource, right? So identify what you can take off of your plate and start with the simplest task, working your way up to the harder task. You're wanting to give them the easiest stuff to work on for you so that they can build up and learn how you think, what you would expect from something, and you have time to perfect your process of how you're doing either your checklist or your system that you're giving them, because they need a system to follow. Even if it's a piece of paper with instructions on it, they have to have some kind of system. When I send my videos out for edit, I literally give them a piece of paper and it says, okay, step 1, add in these titles. Step 2, make sure that you cut out any so's, weird, awkward pauses, and blah blah blah. And then at the end I always say there's a graphic and it has to start between 15 and 20 seconds at the end. So when they get these instructions, I can tell you, I can send these instructions to one person and then I can send these instructions to somebody else, and I'm gonna get completely different work from each of them. But the whole point is that you're giving them instructions, they're giving you something back, and then you're able to tell them feedback like, oh, I don't like this, or I would do this way. And when you're giving feedback, I would strongly encourage you to start with the positives instead of the negatives. Tell them, hey, I really loved this, but I might change this, and this is why. And give them the reasons. Don't just tell them that they aren't doing a good job and get frustrated with them. Remember that this is able to be a great time for you to point out your own weaknesses in your systems and figure out where you can improve. So outsourcing and hiring can be a positive thing if you use it that way. What are the repetitive, mundane tasks that you do every single day that maybe you could put a filter in place or some type of automated system to take care of for you, or you could give to someone else to help you fix and perfect this process every single day? That's how these corporations get to where they're going, is because they start to put other people in place and train them and encourage them to want to be a part of the organization and grow. That's where you see these CEOs that have been with a company for years and whatnot. It takes time to build these relationships, and keep in mind, you may want someone full-time, but at first it might just be on a project basis here and there, and after you've found people that you like, you can keep going back to them, and eventually you might bring them on part-time or full-time for whatever that your needs arise as you start to grow. So when you're looking at all of the things that you do every day, what are your weaknesses? What are the things that you hate to do that you just can't stand, or they just take up a lot of your time? And you may actually have some things that you love to do, but they might be better done by someone else, because your time is valuable. And if you can pay somebody else, say $5 to throw all of your social media posts together or post them for you. Say you create all your social media posts because you like to create them, and then you pay $5, $10, even $20 to have somebody else post all of those for you. I know that if you're really doing a good job about posting your stuff on social media, you're crafting it for each of the platforms that you work on. So to have somebody else be able to post all of that for you for a smaller amount of money, that lets me know that I can do other things, because when you're doing it right and you're putting things in place, then these people are going to help you perfect that system. If you're just throwing your stuff up on social media, then you're definitely not perfecting it for each platform, and you're not going to rank as high on it. So these are all things. My business revolves around social media. I have a huge presence on it, even YouTube. So those things all play into when I outsource, what I outsource. The other really important thing when you're outsourcing your weaknesses, you don't want to outsource the most important task. If it's something where it has to do with the sales of your business, or maybe even calling on corporations to try to get your product, say, into retail. For me, one of the things that I deal with is the front line for me is talking on the phone to customers, which that is really important and it takes training, and I can't sit there and talk to customers on the phone all day. I have to have somebody else handle those things so that I can focus on other parts of the business. Then I go over to my sales team and I talk to them and say, hey, what's going on here? Let's talk to y'all about what you have going on. Same thing with your marketing team and your finance directors. You have different departments. Whether you're one person or not, you can still have different departments if you start to learn how to outsource to each of these people. At least just pick one thing and start with that. And like I said, don't outsource the big important task, because those things can really be detrimental to your business. And when someone's growing and learning and being a part of the business, you don't want to put them in charge of something like sales for your entire company, when that's like your bread and butter of how you make your money. You need to make sure that there's a process set up, and maybe slowly bring them into that. Or maybe you have one or two people that handle sales and you figure out some way to do commissions or a compensation-based pay. People are willing to work, and the people that are willing to work their butt off and prove to you that they want to be a part of your company are a lot more important than the ones that want a paycheck at the beginning and then they want to learn later. Because let me tell you, they don't want to learn. Trust me. You also want to make sure when you're outsourcing your task and giving projects to people that you always give them an estimated time for the project to take or be done by, and you want a date. So date and time. If it's going to be done on Friday by noon, then you need to let them know Friday by noon, not just Friday. I would specifically tell them a time because you're able to hold them accountable to it and give them time to actually perform the task for you. Once they've done it, you're able to see how they're doing. Did they meet the deadline? That could be part of your compensation-based pay. For me, I'm all about paying people, say, a smaller amount, and then if they meet certain criteria, say, for the whole month or a quarter, whatever we decide on, then I would give them a bonus pay or some type of stipend on top of the quality of their work. Did they come with a smile? Did they have any issues that they didn't bring up to me during the process that they just kind of like winged by? I have some people that come to me with great ideas, and then I have some people that just do their thing and don't really offer any ideas. Those are people that I probably will start to not work with anymore. It's all a learning process. Sometimes I give people a project and they look at it and they gave it back to me. Like one time I gave this recently, actually in the last couple weeks, I sent a video off to be edited, and what I learned is that a lot of people only know how to do video editing like visually, but some people actually know how to do the audio, which is me talking in the video, to be editing. So these things all play a role in the process of hiring. And I'm going to tell you, you will lose money when you start this, but giving them a deadline, giving them a time, and sometimes working through these third-party platforms, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, help to keep you held accountable and safe, as well as the other party, because there's a third party that mediates your conversation. When you start working with people, they start to learn you and how you are. Just like some of your friends say, oh, I know she loves purple or pink, and I know she loves creme brulee or red wine. Whatever it is, people start to learn you. So the more they work on your stuff, it's kind of like they can start adding in their own flair, or they just kind of know what you would think, or even be able to offer better ideas. So what I like to do is I get like 3 people that I can work with. I like to get help with video editing. So I'll have about 3 people. I've gathered them from different places. So some of them I get online, some of them I've met in person, some have been referred through other friends. It just depends, but I get about 3 of them. I'll keep the ones that I really like, and then whenever I have a video, I'll kind of drop it into queue and say, hey, can anyone check this out for me, and edit it. Because the other thing is that the people that, when you're not using these people full time, they're not committed to you. So they may have other projects going on, and I want the person that can get to it the fastest and work on it for me. I don't have time to wait on other people, so that's why I keep several people around that can help me with different tasks, because if something comes up with one person, at least I know that I can rely on someone else to finish the task. So where are you supposed to get these people and hire them to start working for you? Well, I have a few places that you can check out. I'm sharing these in the description below so you can see what's up with them and see if they work for you. I've used some of them I like better than others, but I have used them, and I'm only recommending things that I've actually used myself before. So now you know how to outsource and hire in order to get your business booming and on point and save you tons more time in your day, in your business, in your life, so you can go hang out with your friends, your family, or just focus on sales and growth. Let's be real. The time that you spend, it has to be prioritized, and you want to make sure that you're spending your time on the important things, right? I'm Brandi of blogginbrandi.com, where you can find tons of free resources to help you brand your business, and I am writing a book. So all of these things that I do on a normal basis to keep my businesses booming and on point are all going into the book. I'm putting that below, as well as my checklist. So if you have questions and want to get your business started, check out the checklist below. I have a startup checklist that will walk you through in 6 easy steps for getting your business started in the right direction, and then you can work on outsourcing those tasks once you've gotten this system in place and know that you have all of the right things set up. So check that out in the description. So I want to hear your comments. What questions do you have about outsourcing? Have you tried it? Are you frustrated with it? What is it that maybe scares you about it, or that you haven't gone back to it? Or have you had a huge success with it and you know, like, I have a system down, this is what I use? Please tell me about it in the comments so that we can all learn and grow together. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.